Yes, it's me, Jason Mazza, with your weekly crypto roundup. The big news this week is not, in fact, the length of my beard, although I will say with the new lockdown announcements, this bad boy could get a whole lot worse. It was another monster week, and yes, it was all about the Bitcoin. This week celebrated the 12-year anniversary of the white paper being released, and of course, Bitcoin hitting $13,900. Now, I'm just going to say this once. The last time Bitcoin hit $14,000, it took 10 days to get to 20,000. Just putting it out there. So this did make me smile. So unfortunately, with Bitcoin not hitting its all-time high, it meant that @GoingParabolic on Twitter didn't make his call that by the 31st of October, Bitcoin would hit the 20,000 mark. Now, to be honest with you, mate, I'm just going to say this. With all of the banter being thrown around on Twitter, with all the conversation that it sparked, I, for one, loved it. So feel free, Jason, to make those calls as much as you bloody well like. Quick clarification that his Twitter handle is @GoingParabolic, but his name is actually Jason, which is kind of confusing for you lot because my name is Jason as well. Let's move on. You may be aware of the incoming Flare Network Spark token. Which basically, Flare Network is a utility fork of XRP. Basically, in layman's terms, they're partners. Now, the current situation is for every XRP that you own, you will be given, yes, for free, a Spark token. Now, there are a number of exchanges that are facilitating this. Check out the list here. You have got until December 12th to get yourself some XRP, because that is when they're going to be making a snapshot on the exchange to decide who gets what. There is going to be 100 billion Spark tokens, and 45 billion of those have already been allocated to XRP holders. We don't know what the value of the token is going to be, but it's money for nothing. Another week and another rug pull. Seriously, this breaks my heart, guys. You know, this time it was the token core. You know, if we want to try and get mainstream investors into the crypto space, this sort of stuff just has to stop. Yes, I understand a big draw and a big excitement in crypto is the fact that it's unregulated, you know, it's ungoverned, but you know, we have a responsibility to make sure this type of stuff just doesn't happen. A lot of mainstream crypto Twitter influencers came out and who had publicly backed Core and apologised, but as we always say, you've got to do your own research. So it makes the like of TrustSwap and DistX ever more important. Now, if you're not aware of what those guys do, both of those platforms offer a service to protect us, the investors. They're platforms that allow other tokens to launch, but those tokens have to go through a rigorous process. So, you know, it's public developers, so we can see who we're invested in. There's a white paper that actually means something, and the developers' tokens are locked, so they can't just sell on day one and then move on. So I implore you, support those guys, support those projects, and definitely support the new tokens that are launched on those platforms. That's going to help crypto space in the long term. Like an episode of EastEnders, it kicked off on Twitter this week between Bubba Cugs and XRP Al. Bubba Cugs is the self-proclaimed sort of conspiracy theory influencer. In his own words, he's the one that's been chosen to let us all know the new world orders, but he does it in riddles. XRP Al shared some private DMs between the two of them, which basically was XRP Al telling Bubba Cugs that what he was doing was irresponsible and influencing people in a negative way. It's all rather bloody entertaining, and I'm sure the producers of EastEnders are sort of copying it down as we talk. But if you want to check that out and amuse yourself, jump over to their Twitter. Two things I'm going to leave you with. There's been a lot of talk about Bitcoin over the past few weeks. Oh, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, but not much about his younger brother Ethereum. Call it instinct, call it delusional, but I've got a sneaky feeling we're about to see a little bit of movement for that little bad boy. And secondly, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster week coming up. We've got the US elections, we've got lockdowns being announced across Europe, so do yourself a favour and buckle up. You've been beautiful, keep it real like Ian Brook.